David Carradine is sitting alone at a bar when four fighters walk through the door. One of them points at David and says loud enough for everyone to hear, "That is the fake kung fu guy from TV." What happens in the next 2 minutes does not end in a fight. It ends with the toughest guy in the room buying David a drink and asking for advice. Los Angeles, California, October 1976, Saturday night, 11:47 p.m. The Lamplighter, a dive bar on Ventura Boulevard in Sherman Oaks. Not a Hollywood bar, not a celebrity hangout, just a place where regular people come to drink cheap beer and forget about their week. Wood paneling on the walls, pool table in the back, jukebox playing Lynyrd Skynyrd. The smell of cigarette smoke and spilled beer soaked into every surface. David Carradine sits alone at the far end of the bar, nursing a whiskey. His third one tonight. He comes here sometimes when he needs to think, when he needs to be somewhere nobody recognizes him, when he needs to be just another guy at a bar instead of Kwai Chang Caine. Tonight he is thinking about the show. Season 4 just started. The ratings are slipping. The network is making noise about changes. More action, less philosophy. They want him to fight more and talk less. They want Caine to become just another TV tough guy instead of the wandering monk who captured America's imagination. David doesn't want that. But David doesn't always get what he wants. The bar is half empty, maybe 15 people, couples in booths, old-timers on stools, a group of construction workers playing pool, nobody paying attention to the tall guy in the corner, drinking alone. Then the door opens. 4 men walk in. Mid-20s to early 30s, all of them built, gym bags over their shoulders, t-shirts tight across muscular chests, the confident walk of men who know how to handle themselves, who have proven it many times. They just came from training, kickboxing, the gym down the street. These are not weekend warriors or fitness enthusiasts. These are competitors, guys who step into rings and fight for money, guys who have broken bones and had bones broken, guys who know the difference between real fighting and fake fighting. They head to the bar, order beers, laughing about something that happened at training. One of them telling a story about a knockout he scored last week, the others giving him grief about his technique. Then one of them looks down the bar, squints, looks harder. Holy shit, is that who I think it is? The others look. Who? The guy points at David. That is David Carradine, the kung fu guy from TV. No way, I am telling you, that is him. I watched that show with my mom every week before she passed. That is definitely him. They all stare now. 4 pairs of eyes on David. He feels it. Keeps looking at his drink, hoping they will lose interest. Go back to their conversation, leave him alone. They do not. The one who recognized him stands up, walks down the bar. His name is Ray Mendez, 28 years old, 6'1", 205 pounds. Professional kickboxer. 15 wins, 3 losses. All 15 wins by knockout. Fought on ESPN twice. Local celebrity in the martial arts community. Ray has opinions about David Carradine. Strong opinions. He has watched Kung Fu and laughed at the fighting. Watched an actor pretend to do things Ray actually does. Watched America fall in love with a fake martial artist while real fighters struggle to pay rent. He stops right next to David. Close, too close, invading space, the way fighters do when they want to intimidate. David does not look up. Ray speaks loud, wants everyone to hear. Hey, you are that guy, the fake kung fu guy from TV. David takes a sip of his whiskey, still does not look up. The bartender tenses. He has seen this before, recognizes the energy. Trouble coming. Ray continues. Louder now. What is wrong? You do not talk to regular people, only to cameras. David finally looks up. His expression is calm, neutral. The Caine face he has practiced for 4 years. I am just having a drink, not looking for conversation. Ray grins. Not a friendly grin. Not looking for conversation. Too good for us. Is that it? Big TV star cannot talk to regular people. His three friends have drifted over, forming a loose semicircle. The other bar patrons are watching now. The construction workers have stopped their pool game. Everyone sensing the energy shifting. David sighs, sets down his glass. What do you want? Ray leans against the bar, arms crossed, making himself bigger. I want to know how it feels, pretending to be something you are not. You are on TV every week, throwing fake punches, moving in slow motion, fighting guys who fall down on purpose, and 30 million idiots think you are some kind of martial arts master. David says nothing, just listens. I am a real fighter. Ray points at himself. I have been in real fights, taken real punches, broken real bones. I have bled for this. And you are an actor, playing dress up, making money off something you do not understand. David nods slowly. You are right. Ray blinks. This is not the response he expected. What? You are right. Everything you said is true. I am an actor. I throw fake punches. I have never been in a real fight in my life. The closest I have come to combat is the choreography sessions before we shoot. Ray looks confused. He came here to provoke, to embarrass, to watch the TV tough guy squirm and make excuses, not to hear agreement. So you admit it. You admit you are a fraud. I admit I am an actor. Those are different things. Ray laughs. Harsh. How are they different? You pretend to be a martial artist. Millions of people believe you. That is fraud. David turns on his stool, faces Ray directly for the first time, makes eye contact, holds it. Let me ask you something, Ray. Ray's eyes narrow. How do you know my name? It is on your gym bag. Ray Mendez, kickboxing champion. Ray glances down. His name is embroidered on the bag. He looks back at David. Fine, ask your question. How many students do you have? Ray shrugs. I do not teach, I fight. David nods. You do not teach, you fight. That is your skill. That is your gift. You step into a ring and you test yourself against other men. That takes real courage, real discipline. I could never do what you do. Ray stands a little straighter, surprised by the respect. David continues. But let me tell you what I do. Every week, 30 million people watch my show. A lot of them are kids. Kids who never heard of martial arts before. Kids who thought fighting was just punching and kicking. They watch Kane and they see something different. They see discipline, philosophy, control, the idea that real strength is not about hurting people. He pauses. And some of those kids, some of them go looking for more. They find schools like yours, gyms like yours, teachers like the ones you trained with. They walk through your door because I walked through their television screen first. Ray is quiet. His friends are quiet. The whole bar is quiet. I am not a martial artist, Ray. I am a commercial, an advertisement. I make people curious about something you actually know how to do, and then you teach them for real. David picks up his glass, takes a sip. We are not competitors. We are co-workers. I open the door. You show them what is inside. Ray stands there for a long moment, processing, the anger draining from his posture, his shoulders dropping, his fists unclenching. Finally, he speaks, quieter now. I never thought about it that way. Most people do not. They see fake and real as opposites. But sometimes fake creates interest in real. Sometimes the commercial brings customers to the store. Ray is silent, looking at David differently now. Not as an enemy, not as a fraud, as something else. A piece of a puzzle he had not seen before. One of Ray's friends speaks up. A shorter guy, stocky, cauliflower ears from years of grappling. He has got a point, Ray. Half the kids at our gym say they started because of that show. My nephew begged for karate lessons after watching Kung Fu. He is 13 now, competes in tournaments. Another friend nods. My little sister, too. She does taekwondo. Started because of that TV monk. Ray looks at his friends, back at David. A long pause. Then Ray does something unexpected. He laughs. Not harsh this time. Real. Damn, I came over here to embarrass you, and you just made me feel like an asshole. David shrugs. You are not an asshole. You are a fighter. Fighters see the world a certain way. Everything is competition, win or lose, real or fake. That is how you survive in the ring. He gestures to the empty stool next to him. But out here there is room for both of us. Sit down. Let me buy you a drink. Ray hesitates, looks at his friends. They shrug. Why not? Ray sits down next to David Carradine. The bartender exhales. The tension dissolves. The construction workers go back to their pool game. Ray orders a beer. David orders another whiskey. They sit in silence for a moment. Two men who were almost enemies. Now just two guys at a bar. Ray speaks first. Can I ask you something? Sure. Do you actually know any real kung fu? Like any at all? David laughs. Some. I have trained with some teachers, enough to not look completely stupid on camera. But compared to you, compared to anyone who actually fights, I know nothing. Ray nods, appreciating the honesty. You know what is funny? You move pretty good on the show. Like you understand body mechanics even if you cannot fight. The way you shift weight, the way you position your feet. It is not random. David smiles. Thank you. I work hard at that. If I'm going to pretend, I want to pretend well. Ray takes a long drink of his beer. Thinking. You know, we have an exhibition coming up next month. Charity thing. Local fighters doing demonstrations. You should come. David raises an eyebrow. You want me there? The fake kung fu guy. Ray grins. I want you there because every kid in that audience watches your show. If they see you watching us, real fighters, maybe they understand that what they see on TV is just the beginning. Maybe more of them sign up for lessons. David considers this. I would like that. Ray extends his hand. Ray Mendez. David shakes it. David Carradine. But you already knew that. They both laugh. The bartender shakes his head, smiling. He has seen a lot of things in this bar. Never seen a fight turn into a friendship in 2 minutes. 1 month later, David shows up at the exhibition, sits in the front row. Ray spots him from the ring. Nods. After his demonstration, Ray brings David up on stage. Introduces him to the crowd. This is David Carradine. He plays Kane on TV. He is not a real fighter. He told me so himself. But he is the reason a lot of you are here tonight. He is the reason you got curious about martial arts. So let us give him some respect. The crowd applauds, kids pointing excitedly, parents smiling. David takes the microphone. I am not a martial artist, but I play one on TV, and every week I pray that someone watching will see through the fake and find the real. Find teachers like these men. Learn something true. He gestures to the fighters. These are the real masters. I am just the guy who pointed you in their direction. Now go learn from them. More applause. David steps off stage. Ray claps him on the shoulder. You are all right, Carradine. You too, Mendez. They stayed in touch for years. Ray sent students to David for autographs. David sent donations to Ray's gym. Two men who met as enemies and parted as allies. Because David understood something that night in the bar. You do not have to be real to be useful. You do not have to be a master to open doors. Sometimes the fake thing creates hunger for the real thing. And sometimes the guy calling you a fraud becomes your biggest supporter. If you let him. If you listen instead of defend. If you agree instead of argue. That is what David did in 2 minutes at a dive bar in Sherman Oaks, turned an enemy into a friend, turned an insult into an invitation, turned fake versus real into fake and real, working together, opening doors, building something bigger than either could build alone. Who is calling you fake right now? What if they are right? And what if being right does not make them your enemy? What if it makes them the person who needs to hear what you actually do? What you actually offer? What doors you actually open? David Carradine bought Ray Mendez a beer, and 2 minutes later, they were on the same team. That is the power of agreeing with your enemies. That is the power of defining yourself, honestly. That is 2 minutes that changed both their lives, forever.